Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Zero Cut Profiles. Today, we are back for the Hydraland NR side format of the NR format, and today we have a very special guest, the person who created this monstrosity of a deck filled with some of the craziest cards I have ever seen resolve, Skybro.
Hello.
So today we are going to be doing the card by card, of course, but we're actually going to be taking a look at the replay of the tournament where Skybro got one of the hardest to resolve cards to resolve. So Skybro, would you like to say anything about your deck before we do the card by card?
So this was the primary theme of Subterror. For some odd reason, I am blessed by Subterror in NR. But yeah, the core of it's just Subterror. Then bunch of Earth monsters just for succession in case I draw it, which happened way more than it should have. And then bunch of funny one-ups I like, and also the Puppet engine, the Puppet cards. I just like them.
Is that all?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. And the extras just staple stuff.
Staples in the extra is very fair. Okay, so let's get into the card by card. We have Subterra Fiendus, Subterra Nemesis Defender, Morphing Jar number 2, the first of many very strange cards in this list. Next, we have a Puppet Pawn, which is great. We have a Marmoting Captain to cycle through these different monsters. We have Subterra Nemesis Archer, Self-Destruct Ant, which, funny enough, is an Earth monster and can be used to close out games. We have Vernisylph of the Flowering Fields, Vernisylph of the Thawing Mountains, Infinite Antlion, Elemental Hero Wildheart, Puppet Rook. Oh yeah, Elemental Hero Wildheart. Actually not that bad of a card when you really look into it. We have a Silver Sentinel, a Subterra Behemoth Stygia Kraken, a Puppet Queen, a Subterra Behemoth Dragoswary, a Goddess of Sweet Revenge, which if you have never seen this card, you will. Sunlit Sentinel, the retrain of Silver Sentinel and Skybro's current profile picture, Puppet King, Kashtira Ogre, Orbital Hydralander, Prime Mineral Congrate.
Never came up, and I'm sad.
Subterra Behemoth Speleogeist. We have a Divine Serpent Get, a Subterra Behemoth Ultramathus, a Flawless Perfection of the Tenyi, Subterra Cave Clash, Book of Moon, Metal Morph of all cards, Bottomless Trap Hole, Needle Sealing, Legacy of Yatagarasu, because Jar of Greed just wasn't funny enough, Conscription, Radiant Mirror Force, which is Mirror Force but worse, Punch in the Box, Wall of Disruption, Subterra Behemoth Burrow, Subterra Succession, Jelly Cannon, and Mirror Wall, which
you
has
did skip
one of
Final Battle.
Pardon?
You skipped Final Battle.
Oh, and Subterra Final Battle. We have
Mirror Wall.
Muserhythm the String Djinn, Super Quantum Mech Beast Grampulse, Exosister Sophiel, Dragonlark Perrin, Dark Armed the Dragon of Annihilation, Aegeon the Sea Castrum, Number 77 the Seven Sins, Pentastag, Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, Geonator Transverser, Pit Knight Early, which is the contender to beat out Codebreaker for one of the best Link 2s. We have Triple Burst Dragon, Power Code Talker, Berserker of the Tenyi, and Agave Dragon of all things. Despite, actually, I think we do have maybe a dinosaur or two. So, with that out of the way, instead of going to a duel, we are going to be going to the replay screen, because y'all will get to see one of the most insane duels I have ever watched.
I had to save this.
Pardon?
I had to save this duel.
I don't blame you. So here we go into one of the tournaments, and if you'd like to check out this tournament in its full, the VOD is still currently up on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/RamYugioh, where I actually gave live commentary on here, as well as the host of this tournament, Frostbeast 5. And as you can see, the hand starts off quite crazy. We're going up against a Metal Foes variant. They're going to be grabbing Supreme King Dragon Darkworm, popping these cards, Metal Foes counter, special summoning, and passing. Now this hand looks quite crazy until you think about everything in it. We summon the Kashtira Ogre, go to battle, Lost Wind is going to negate, unfortunately, and the Ogre goes down. Main phase 2, set 4, and pass. Draw phase, standby phase. Main phase 1, gonna pop again, search, Metal Foes counter is going to summon a Metal Foes. We have the Parametal Foes fusion making Mithrilium.
So the conscription play makes sense. So I conscripted to try to get monsters specifically so I can deal the only way the Mythilium. So Goddess was live.
Activate the top card of your opponent's deck, and if it is a monster that can be normal summon or set, special summon it to your field. Otherwise, add that card to your opponent's hand. So it's either your opponent draws one, or you get a free monster. So now, if you have never read Goddess of Sweet Revenge, while you control no cards, and this is the only card in your hand, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can discard this card, destroy as many cards as possible your opponent controls, then you can special summon any monster from your deck. Now this card, I don't think has ever been resolved before this. And that's not an exaggeration, this card is insanely hard to resolve. So as you can see, the flipped up needle ceiling is activating. To pop everything but the face down, Mithrilium is going to trigger to special summon back the Volflame, then a Pendulum Summon is going to come in, special summoning Guiltia the D-Knight, linking and another Melcaster, making all of them into a Triple Burst Dragon. Now Wall of Disruption is going to come out and stop the Triple Burst. Main phase to end phase, we're going to skip ahead just a little bit. Draw phase, grab the Bottomless Trap Hole, set the Bottomless end phase. Now we get to see what a Pendulum Summon can do. So counter is going to trigger to add back the Volflame, Pendulum Summon 2, Bottomless, and then the Fusion, making an Orichalc. Battle phase, beat over with the Orichalc, and then direct attack Goddess of Sweet Revenge, special summoning the Subterra Nemesis Archer that is immediately going to get popped to special summon the Ultramathus.
The only card I could summon off there.
But ladies and gentlemen, it is incredibly hard to resolve that card, much less in an alt format where it's one of. So, big shout out to Skybro for doing this. Thank you for joining me on this video. Now I get to see how the Metal Foes player can keep up with a 3000 attack beatstick and very little advantage. So a Codebreaker Virus Swordsman is going to keep things up. Morphing Jar number 2, which resolved more times than it should have in this tournament. Grabbing the Defender, summoning back the Archer. Pardon?
Just not this duel.
It's not what?
I just didn't resolve Morphing Jar in this duel. People told me to set it in on call, but I chose not to try to win.
The Defender is going to switch the attack target. Archer's going to summon the Fiendess, and then an Unchained Twins Rakea for Berserker of the Tenyi, which unfortunately there is a Shatana in the grave. So now Fiendess is going to flip itself face down, summon the Archer face down, and then flip the Ultramathus face up and set a Metal Morph. So this is going to be fun. Now, the turn change, draw phase, a Wild Heart should be enough, theoretically. So now, 1800 to the Dome. The Shatana is going to trigger, summon back, and pop the Ultramathus, unfortunately. So now, there's just 3,000 attack points between SC43 and Death. We have the Cosmo Goodwitch to destroy the Archer once again, special summoning a Speleogeist. The Speleogeist is going to switch the Berserker's attack to 0, linking it off for a Cross Sheep. Unfortunately, it won't be enough. Now, draw phase, doesn't matter what it is. Normal summon Elemental Hero Wildheart for game! Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the craziest tournaments I have ever had the privilege of hosting. And this is probably one of the craziest duels.
I had so much fun that day.
This is not even the only game. There was a game of self-destruct and finishing off like a Gagaga cowboy. There was a game where Wildheart did most of the work.
Oh, yeah.
It was absolutely amazing.
And then there was a game I resolved Morphing Jar number 2 twice.
In a one-of format. But my gosh. Congratulations. While Skybro did not win, this has to be one of my favorite duels. And now I'd like to thank all of you for watching. My name is Vam, and thank you to Skybro for allowing me to use this duel and his deck. And hope you all enjoyed. Have a good day.